Hello and welcome back again. So in this example, we want to take the limit as x goes to 0 from the right of 3 over x minus 5 over x squared. So as x goes to 0 from the right, we know that the fraction 3 over x is going to be going to positive infinity because the denominator is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and dividing by that makes the answer bigger, bigger, bigger. Same thing is true for 5 over x squared. So this limit has the form of infinity minus infinity. And be very careful, this is not 0 because the idea is that these two quantities are both going to infinity, but we have to see which one is going to infinity faster. And the best way to handle this is to actually just turn this into one single rational expression that we could take a limit for. So the idea is to rewrite this with a common denominator. So this is going to be equal to the limit as x goes to 0 from the right. We can rewrite the first term as 3x over x squared minus 5 over x squared, which is just the limit as x goes to 0 from the right of 3x minus 5 over x squared. Once again, we want to look at our form here, and you will notice that this form is actually going to be negative 5 over 0, which we know is an undefined quantity, but more importantly, we notice that we really don't have ourselves with an indeterminate form, and no amount of manipulation will bring that on. Instead, what we have to do is think about what 3x minus 5 over x squared is. So again, if 3x minus 5 is approaching the value of negative 5 as you approach 0, and our denominator is going to 0, that means you're taking a fixed constant and dividing by a number that's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. The result is going to be an answer that's getting larger, but it's going to the negative direction. So this is going to be equal to negative infinity. Again, the limit does not exist, but we're describing it with the direction of negative infinity. So if we back up to the original problem, this limit is negative infinity. So at this point, it's always kind of good to ask yourself, well, what did that mean in terms of comparing these two functions? And what it says is basically 5 over x squared goes to infinity faster than 3 over x because x squared is going to 0 faster than x goes to 0. So the idea is that this difference, the second term, basically wins, and you get negative infinity as your direction for this limit.